Alrighty folks, I want to do something a little bit different here. Normally we do full races and show you, like how we drive and stuff like that. Something I want to try to do a little bit different is for us to like analyze where things go wrong. So a lot of times you'll see in my videos, I make mistakes, right? And those mistakes usually cost us big. And to be a better racer, you need to be able to go back and look at your mistakes and see where you can grow from them. A lot of times I don't show that in the video to a full extent just because for the sake of time, you've already watched a 20-something minute video, but I want to try something different today and want to show you the after effects of a race and when us making a mistake. So we're going to watch this. This is at Watkins Glen in the ARCA car. We started second. We were maintaining second here on lap 2. And then something unforeseeable happens that I could not figure out during the race. Let's watch it. Alrighty, so that was a very, very quick clip, right, of what we are talking about. I have ran, let me look really quick. We've done a bunch of laps. I'll pull up my Garage 61. Let me see if I can figure out how to get back. I don't use Garage 61 that much. So we have run a ton of laps here. You can see at Watkins Glen we've ran 7 laps, 10 laps, 10, 16, 10, 18, 77 laps total, okay? So I've ran a good bit here. I have a good understanding of the track and like how to race it. The rest of the race I went incident free. And you can see in the other races I ran many laps incident free. Some mistakes are my own, some mistakes are falling into other people's mistakes. But this video is focusing on our mistake, and then I want to also touch base on the mistake of the very end of that clip of what another person made. So if we go forward here, what we're going to see is we're heavy on the brakes in the braking zone. We're setting up the entry of it perfectly fine. I get a little bit nervous here because the car is wanting to turn too much to the right there. So I put a little bit of throttle in to get it corrected to the left. I normally do that to some extent, but I felt like I did a little bit more than normal. Here we clip this curb and it kind of shoots us over to the right a little bit, and then we're heading into this corner, getting out of the bus stop, and the car is not pointed in the right direction, right? So I'm going to use the arrow, the cursor on the screen as the guide. So where we want to be aiming for is we want the nose to be towards these curves, right? We want to right size the track right about here. What you can see is that we are pointed over here. We should be pointed over here. And I'll go to another lap to show you what I'm talking about, just so you have a better picture of what I'm talking about. So we are exiting the bus stop in the same position. We are pointed here, right? Whereas on this lap, we are pointed. Sorry, I'm not really great at all this. We are clearly not pointed there, so we'll skip ahead just a little bit. You can see we are well pointed in this direction, right? So can you make this turn here at this angle? Sure, you could. You just got to slow it down a lot more because you got to get it rotated to go down the hill. Unfortunately, we're not there. So what's happening in this clip that I could not understand in the moment is, we are coming to this corner. I thought that maybe our left sides clipped the grass and like hooked us or something like that. We're nowhere near, right? What's happening here is if you look at my wheel, it's angled too much to the left, and you do need to turn a little bit to get the car going back in the opposite direction. And if we look at our telemetry inputs here, we're entering, we're just about straight, but a little bit to the right. We turn a little bit more to the right and then immediately back left. We want to get that car rotated over. We're pointed directly left. We clip the curb, and then we're still pointed left, back right, and then I give up because I know it's no hope. We are pointed in the wrong direction, right? So I'll let you see that one more time we are pointed left, to the left, try to correct right, doesn't fix it, and I just know I need a banner. It's really important to look at your accidents and try to figure out what you can do differently, right? In this situation, I definitely should have, I knew something was wrong from the very beginning. I should have just tried to not commit and save it. We're on lap 2 of this race. I probably could have backed it down a little bit, right? And just kept it going straight. Instead, I was trying to gain something out of here. I gave it way too much throttle while also being pointed to the left. So you'll see, like, we're giving it about 50-ish% throttle pointed to the left. What is that going to do? Turn the car to the left. We get all the weight on this right side. You can even kind of see it. It looks like the right side is like sitting. And all that weight over here, it has to go somewhere, right? So it's got to turn the car up over to these barriers. Looking back on it now, it looks so simple, right? But in the moment, I was just so confused of like what possibly could have happened. I felt like an idiot. 12 car packs us, you know, it just completely ruined my headspace at this moment. And then we are trying to get turned around. There's nowhere for us to go. You know, we got cars coming from behind. I got to give it just a little bit of like space to back up. And, you know, we still got cars driving by us. I don't know how broken the car is. There's so many different things going on. We really weren't that broken. We had a lot of aero damage on the front. The front was definitely... Oh, wrong camera. The front was definitely damaged, and it would have slowed us down by a lot. But at the end of the day, like, this accident could have been avoided if we would have just slowed down a little bit and started thinking about what we're doing. I think what you want to become as a race car driver is just trust your instincts. And, like, I think to some extent that's true. We should be trusting ourselves, but we probably need to back it up and really think about what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we are not race car drivers. We are just people on the internet, you know, playing, you know, role playing, being race car drivers. You know, as much as we want to be real race car drivers, we're not. We don't have that like crazy edge that they may have. So for racers like me, we need to slow it down, back it up a little bit, try to figure out what we did wrong, and really evaluate how we can prevent this from happening in the future. What I can do in the future is just be a little bit more aware of where we got the wheel pointed. We need to turn a little bit to the left here, but we need to correct that sooner. And on this next lap, you know, I to just show you how much it will impact you, right? Is like on this next lap, I'm going through here a lot slower, and I don't trust myself. You can see the lack of trust in like how twitchy the wheel is, right? I'm like kind of, you know, sawing at it a little bit. And that's because I just don't trust that I'm going to be able to prevent that from happening. I just don't know what my confidence is missing, right? So whenever we are racing, we need to back it up, slow it down, try to figure it out, and analyze that a little bit better, of like how we can fix it. Now, I do want to go back, and because I said that the first part was us, the second part is the 12 car, and I want to really just highlight what you can do if you are racing with other people, how you can prevent accidents from happening. And I'm just as guilty of this as anybody else, but if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know how to react, right? So I'm going to show you his perspective really quick, and then we'll go back and touch on it. Alrighty, so what did you notice immediately? What I noticed immediately is we have a huge gap here, right? And we're on lap 2, no big deal, right? Like, we're not racing for anything just yet. A big gap is not the worst thing in the world, especially if you don't trust yourself, because it gives you time to react. So we're going to move it forward. You can see, like, everything looks normal. We're totally fine here. And before I go any further, I will just say, hindsight is 20/20 always. It's so much easier to think clearly after the fact than it is in the moment, right? So I don't know what the driver here is thinking at all. I don't think that he did this intentionally. I don't think there's any maliciousness here. I just think that it's really important that we go back and look at the situation and fully understand, okay? So looking from his perspective, right, everything looks normal up to here. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, even to right here. Nothing's out of the ordinary. Now, we have a few seconds before the incident happens down there, and clearly you can see I'm done. There's no other way to put it. I have put it in the wall, nose first. It's gonna be bad. What I want to be looking for if I see somebody wrecking is what are some indications of what's going on with the car, right? How hard are we hitting? I could just be sliding into the wall here, right? Usually if we're nosing in, watch the back end of the car. Watch what it does, okay? So it's completely flat, and then all of a sudden you see it's up off the ground, okay? We hit hard. So what does that mean, right? Where there's energy going into this wall, it's got to be dispersed somehow. So this car, I'm going to get spit out. There's no way beyond that. I have to get sent somewhere. So if I am Ethan in this moment, what I'm going to be doing is slowing way down. I don't know where this car is going to go. The reality is I probably would have done the same thing as Ethan does. But we need to not have that mindset. We need to go back and analyze. What Ethan needs to be doing right now is that he needs to be slowing down. He needs to try to figure out what's going on. If you look on the track, there's nobody behind him, right? So having full awareness of where we are on the track is super important. The next car hasn't even got to the bus stop, right? So like we have some time. That might be them right there. We have some time to figure it out, okay? So we're junked. We're up in the tire barrier. We're going to go frame by frame, which is not always fair, but I hope that you can understand what I'm going to explain. It's going to be easier to explain this way. So we're going to go frame by frame. The car is being spit out, okay? My reaction should be, Ethan's reaction should be on the brakes right now. We need to slow the car down. We're going 95 miles an hour into a car accident. Would you do this on the highway? No, you would not, right? So we need to be slowing the car down. There's about to be a car pointed backwards facing us at 95 miles an hour, 94 miles an hour. There's a car backwards here, right? Now, if we're going to be realistic, we're not going to be able to just easily like skirt this line. We're kind of pointed here. We need to be more pointed this way. We're not. And we see this car slowly grazing across the track. I'm on the brakes. I mean, I'm holding it down as much as I can. But now I'm not on the brakes, so like shame on me. No, I am. I'm still on the brakes. But there's a car that is slowly sliding towards the middle of the track. We're still going 91 miles an hour. We are still going 90 miles an hour with no distance between us. This is probably not a very fair camera angle. That's also not like if we are this close, right? If we are, why is this? I don't know how any of this works. Oh, this is like completely backwards. We are this close, right? Like this is like no distance at all. If we are hoping to survive this, we might be very surprised, right? In a real life situation, you would want to slow way down. But like we are still going 85 miles an hour, right? 90 miles an hour right here. We have to be aware this car is not going anywhere. I'm not going to gas it up and move down. I need to be as predictable as possible. So I'm trying to lock it down where we are. We need cars behind us to slow down. I think like we'll look at like moment of impact, right? At the moment of impact, we're still going 65 miles an hour. This is a frame or two before. It's just he's going to hit us and it's going to throw it off. We are 65 miles an hour running into a car. There's no way to miss this. If he does somehow swerve out of the way, he's going off track too, right? So we need to slow down. We need to just do a little bit better with that and not just absolutely plow into people. Now, let's change this back to at car and then... So this isn't all on Ethan. This is the group behind, right? There's an accident up ahead. They can clearly see it at this point. They're still going 90 miles an hour, 80, 90. They don't slow down at all, right? Like they pick up speed with a car, parked on the side of the road. This is the ARCA series. We got to keep going. We got to, put in all the effort to get around the accidents. But what I would say is the biggest lesson I learned here in wreck avoidance: slow it down. If you have room to do it, do it. We'll go back and look, see moment of actual impact, and I can't see, but let's try it. Hey, that helps. If we look at this, you can't see my cursor, but like they're entering the bus stop as like we're wrecking. He had time to slow down. He had time to react. In the moment, we're not thinking like that. We're just trying to push as hard as we can, so I understand that. But if you can take anything away from this video is, as you come up on an accident, slow it down, think about it, process what's going on before you get into the big accident. Try to give yourself time to react, and the best way to do that is slow it down. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I have never really done this before, so I hope that it was helpful in some way. If you could, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next video.